Calling the meeting to order. It's June 24th, 2026. This is the board meeting of the California High-Speed Rail Authority. May I ask the secretary to call the roll, please?
Director Schenk? Here. Chair Cava?
Here.
Director Camacho?
Here.
Director Elliott?
Here.
Director Perea?
Here.
Director Escutia? Vice Chair Williams?
Here.
Director Worth? Director Cohen? Assemblymember Carrillo? Senator Caballero? We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And if you're able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, the first item is public comment. Could you read the public comment process?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Before we begin public comment for the California High-Speed Rail Board of Directors meeting, I would like to review some important information. For members of the public who have joined us in person and wish to provide public comment, you will be called up in the order we receive your card. If you're joining the meeting via Zoom and wish to provide public comment, please use the raise your hand feature located at the bottom of the app. Speakers will be called on in the order their hands are raised. Once you are in the queue and your name is called, please click the prompt on your screen to allow your microphone to be unmuted. If we have any callers joining by phone, I will give instructions on how you can make public comment following the Zoom participants. All speakers will be given 2 minutes to speak. I will remind you when you have 15 seconds remaining. When it is your turn to speak, please slowly and clearly say your first and last name, and if applicable, please state the organization you are representing. Mr. Chair, we will begin with the in-person speakers. Our first speaker is Arthur Sohikian, followed by Keith Dunn.
Got to lower this a little. Good morning, Mr. Chair, distinguished board members, CEO. My name is Arthur Sohikian. I'm the Executive Director of the High Desert Corridor Joint Powers Agency. We are trying to construct the high-speed rail intercity High Desert Corridor project that would connect the California High-Speed Rail project at your Palmdale station with the Victorville station in the Brightline network. It's a 55-mile corridor, and I just wanted to come here today and thank you for your partnership, your cooperation. We have been integrating very well with the CEO and his executive team and others, and we feel like we have a terrific project to connect, the partnership. We do appreciate CEO Chowdhury's discussions with us and looking for economies of scale, looking at ways that how we can help one another, save the taxpayers some money on some of these procurements and other things that we're doing. So really do appreciate that, sir. And I'm here to help. You know, I'm here with the government and I'm here to help, right? So thank you. I appreciate the time and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Keith Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, board members. Keith Dunn here on behalf of the State Building Construction Council, as well as the District Council of Ironworkers. I just want to really call out the accomplishments that you guys have had in the last few months. It's being noticed over in the Capitol, and I can tell you it's being noticed by the men and women from the building trades who are building this project every day. A new civil works, new partners, new resources. The pace of construction is going faster than we've seen in over a decade. And I really want to make sure that everyone here publicly hears from the men and women who are building this project, the great appreciation for the hard work that you do at this board, but also the work that everyone in this room does to make sure this project continues to move forward. So I just wanted to publicly state that for you as board, to hear from the people who are building this project, the men and women who are also going to benefit from this project when it's built and connecting into the other rail lines within our state. Again, we like to say it's not a rail line, it's a lifeline. And really, I believe that's true in the Central Valley, but also as we connect into the other regions in the Los Angeles Basin and the Greater Bay Area. So thank you for your leadership, and we look forward to continuing to work with you to build this project for the citizens of California.
Thank you.
Okay, we will next go to, once again, if you're joining the meeting via Zoom and wish to provide public comment, please use the raise your hand feature located at the bottom of your screen. So there are a few hands raised. Our first public speaker will be Kimberly O'Brien Young, followed by Roland. Okay, let's go to Roland.
Thank you. And I'm getting an echo. Can this be addressed?
We can hear you.
Thank you. This is going to be really difficult. Can you please resolve this issue and then get back to me later? Thank you. Okay, it's okay now. Good morning, Chair Kawa, board members. My name is Roland O'Brien. I live in San Jose. I'd like to bring a couple of small housekeeping items to your attention. First of all, I would appreciate the ability to save the transcript so that I have immediately access to the raw transcript rather than waiting for the edited version. The second, I would really appreciate if the board could restore public access to all board and committee meeting materials prior to 2018. These were eliminated by Mr. Chaudhry's predecessor, Mr. Brian Kelly. And last but not least, I would respectfully ask that the board consider restoring the contingency drawdown curve. We started at $4 billion back in the days when the project budget was $20 billion. This was depleted in approximately 3 years, at which point I brought it to the attention of Finance and Audit Committee. It was replenished by an additional $2 billion for a total of $6 billion in contingency, which promptly disappeared 18 months later, at which point Mr. Chaudhry decided to completely remove it from the report. And by the way, a contingency drawdown curve is a federal requirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker will be Frank Quintero, followed by Josh Pedroso.
Good morning, Chair Kawa, Vice Chair Williams, and board members. My name is Frank Quintero, Deputy City Manager for the City of Merced. CEO Chaudhry and Ali Rodriguez, thank you for meeting in Merced with the stakeholder group, including representatives from UC Merced, Merced College, and the private sector. Dialogue was robust, but I hope you sense that Merced remains supportive of the high-speed rail project. Discussion was presented about the pros and cons of keeping the station in downtown Merced versus southeast Merced. However, now is the time to focus on what's best for the community and high-speed rail should the transition take place, how to proceed with the transition, and get a better understanding of the land area and design of the potential station. We would like to coordinate town hall meetings, introducing the public to the potential station's location, design, and functionality. We will need the assistance of high-speed rail to carry out such meetings. Staff looks forward to working and coordinating through Ms. Rodriguez to help make these meetings come to fruition. Regarding item number 4 on the agenda, we ask that you approve staff's recommendation. We also appreciate that an extension to downtown Merced will be included as an option. Thank you for your time and opportunity to address you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have Josh Pedroso, followed by Mel Suzanne.
Good morning, Josh Pedroso, Merced County Supervisor, District 2. I apologize for not being there in person today, but I, again, want to thank the authority, especially Mr. Chaudhry and Ms. Rodriguez, for spending time in Merced County and hearing directly from our local business community, notably the Merced Boosters. I also want to thank the leadership and staff from Merced Boosters, the City of Merced, Merced County, UC Merced, and Merced College for participating in those discussions and sharing their perspectives. As the board's representative on rail matters with the support of our chairman and my colleagues, I feel confident on speaking on behalf of Merced County today. The unfortunate issue before us is uncertainty. We are dealing with uncertainty surrounding both state and federal budgets, and I believe this presents an opportunity to focus on potential. Unfortunately, politics are playing a role in what is truly a generational decision. Too many people have been told what they want to hear rather than what they need to know. And the reality is that in order to move this project forward and bring it to Merced, we were being told that there must be 100% consensus. Respectfully, that is not feasible with any project. History has shown that uncertainty only continues when decisions are delayed. My recommendation is simple: make a decision and move forward. We cannot let perfect become the enemy of progress. It is better to explain to people that you're not saving $1 billion in cash, you're saving money through strategic planning. Call $200 million and needed infrastructure what it is, part of the cost of delivering the project. I speak government, I understand infrastructure, I understand bureaucracy. When I try to explain these concepts to people who do not speak the language of government, I lose them. People deserve straightforward explanations. Merced County continues to be a willing and active participant in decisions affecting our community and the concerns of our constituents. We remain committed to having a seat at the table and helping deliver the message. However, the authority must take the lead in educating and informing the public about the process. Partnership means not only in the partnership not only in the decisions, but also in the responsibility of communicating those decisions and building public trust. Merced County stands ready to continue that partnership, but the legwork of public outreach and education must be led by the authority. I will continue to advocate for this project in Merced County because I recognize the benefits of a regional project that highlights an area too often overlooked. With all due respect, I live here, I interact with the people who ask me about this project all the time, and I continue to tell them that the taxpayers have invested so much into this project that we might as well have a seat at the table instead of being on the menu. I will continue to advocate for the benefits this project can bring to our county. I know that Mr. Chowdhury, Mr. Tolson, and Mr. Whippy have been there, so have Mr. Perea and Mr. Williams. Senator Caballero is a champion, as are Assemblywoman Soria and Congressman Adam Gray. All three have consistently worked to
15
deliver a
seconds.
project to the value that highlights the tremendous potential of this region. This is a historically underserved, high poverty area that is not asking for a handout, but for a hand up. This project represents another hand up. Merced County stands ready to be a partner because we believe in the future of this region and the opportunities this project can create for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Okay, Kimberly O'Brien Young. Mr. Chairman, we have no other attendees who would like to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Seeing that there is no more public comment, we'll move on to the next item. Next item is an action item. It is to consider approving the June 1st, 2026 board meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Moved by Vice Chair Williams, seconded
Second.
by Director Schenk. Roll call, please.
Director Schenk,
Yes.
Chair Kava,
Aye.
Director Camacho,
Aye.
Director Elliott, Director Perea,
Yes.
Director Scutia, Vice Chair Williams,
Aye.
Director Worth, Director Cohen. Motion carries.
The minutes are approved. We'll move on now to the next action item, item number 2, program budget and baseline for fiscal year review and approval. Jamie Metallica, please.
Good morning, Chairman Kava, Vice Chair Williams, Directors of the Board, CEO Chowdhury. My name is Jamie Metallica. I am the Chief Financial Officer for the Authority. Today, I'll be presenting item 2, seeking board acceptance of the 2026 program baseline and budget. Next slide, please. Our agenda for today includes why I'm bringing this item before the board, updates on the budget and funding, and initiatives in the financial office. The why. There are 2 pertinent board policies governing this item. Board Policy HSR 24-1135, which directs staff to update capital cost estimates in conjunction with its annual plans, or when key design milestones are reached. For this item, the pertinent plan was the adoption of the 2026 business plan. And 2, Board Policy HSR 1101, which directs staff to bring before the board the budget annually. At the end of the presentation, we'll be seeking board acceptance of the baseline and budget. Next slide, please. Okay, our starting point. we're providing a snapshot of the current board-approved 2025 program baseline and fiscal year budget, which was approved in August of 2025. The authority's current total program baseline is $36.75 billion, and the fiscal year 25-26 capital outlay budget is approximately $2.7 billion. This authorization focused the authority staff on advancing the program in three overarching areas: project development, construction, and regional projects we label bookend investments. Cumulatively, we have spent just over $15.2 billion across all fund sources, and achievements keep growing. The authority's investments of $15 billion is advancing the nation's first high-speed rail system, has created over 19,000 good-paying jobs, craft labor jobs, produced $24.6 billion in economic output, and has engaged 994 small businesses. As for progress, right-of-way is now 100% achieved for the construction packages 1 through 4, which is Madera, Fresno through Wasco, comprising the 119-mile Central Valley segment. Construction package 4 from Wasco to just shy of Corcoran completed and ready for track laying this year. Construction package 2-3 from the limit of CP4 to just about Fresno has 28 miles of guideway turned over now, and on track for the remaining 37 miles of guideway by the end of this year. San Francisco to Los Angeles has been environmentally cleared, with only one project segment remaining for full phase 1 completion, planned for later this year as well. High-speed rail commodities being manufactured today, and a track and systems contractor not only under contract, but also mobilizing and scheduled to lay track towards the end of this year. And most recently, we have successfully brought on the services of a real private sector partner backed by equity to ultimately seek a P3 arrangement. Next slide, please. With that starting point in mind, I'd like to cover our updated cost estimates first. The table on the slide reflects scope and budget detail of the 2026 business plan and associated capital cost estimates. I'm happy to report for the first time in authority's history, a baseline authorization request is showing a savings. We've done 7 of these since 2018. The change reflects a net decrease of $1.08 billion, a significant saving as compared to the 2025 baseline. The key drivers of change include updated track and systems quantities based on advanced design and specifications, a process that naturally occurs in projects as scope becomes more defined. A revised methodology for estimating, moving us from a parametric modeling technique, basically a more general approach, to a bottoms-up estimating approach, which provides more unit cost basis for estimates, a more rigorous approach. New proposals for station locations, updated quantities for power and utility interconnections based on refined designs, and also incorporating inflation and escalation changes that also increase program-wide costs to align with the new projected revenue start date for the early operating segment in the 2026 business plan. Altogether, a new total baseline budget of $35.6 billion is the cost estimate to deliver a core high-speed rail system between Merced and Bakersfield by 2033. This allows the authority to build now and build more later when additional funding is identified. For instance, as reported in the 2026 business plan, an SB 198 Merced to Bakersfield full build-out system is estimated to cost $47.7 billion. Since CEO Chaudhry's arrival in this program, significant efforts have been undertaken to update the design criteria, improve estimates through our bottoms-up estimating processes, and sequencing delivery of assets in the most optimal manner given ridership demand. The difference between that and our current baseline request is $12.1 billion in CapEx savings. These efforts were absolutely critical for the program, given the funding situation, which I will cover in the next slide. The authority has identified $40.4 billion in total available project funding, including greenhouse gas reduction funds, federal funds, and Proposition 1A bond funds. The significant highlight to point out is that with recent chaptering of SB 840, we will transition from the quarterly funded, volatile cap and trade program, as you can see in the middle of this slide, to the new cap and invest program where $1 billion is annually provided to the authority beginning in 26-27. The statutory allocation of $20 billion over 20 years provides increased assurance that the authority Total funding level available is adequate to complete the core functional high-speed rail system from Merced to Bakersfield. However, to maintain the authority's schedule, we must gain access to the out-year funding. This is an effort the authority and the administration has been and continues to work on to find a solution. And I will report back to the board when meaningful progress is made on this issue. Let me stop here and ask if there are any questions.
Director Elliott.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, Jamie, the federal funding, could you just elaborate? Are there, is that certain? Is there any more opportunity for them to try and claw back any of this federal funding?
I think there is definitely some opportunity left. There's 246 million remaining that we have not drawn down from our 2.8 billion in forecasted federal funds. We continue to work to achieve those grant obligations. We meet with FRA monthly to give them project progress updates. So far, that has not been a comment or something that we're aware of that would be clawed back. I will also mention that in the Finance and Audit Committee today, we did bring up the fact that we'll be seeking an additional federal grant of almost $1.8 billion to support the Merced Extension Project.
Director Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Jim.
Morning.
Question for you. Thanks for this update. Question for you on the cap and invest revenue. I understand that this is the subject of active discussion in the legislature at the moment, so I understand there may not be a definitive answer. Nevertheless, given the recent withdrawal of the federal funds, which Director Schenck just referenced, $4 billion the Trump administration took away illegally from the state, and potential changes being discussed by the legislature to the priorities for the cap and invest revenue expenditure plan. My question to you is, if the legislature passes an expenditure plan and a budget, which I know is being discussed quite literally today at the Capitol, and high-speed rail cannot credibly anticipate the full $20 billion from that fund source. My question to you is, how is staff monitoring that situation and planning for any potential revenue shortfalls as a result of changes to the legislatively directed expenditure plan? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question, Director Elliott. I think that we are continuously monitoring the situation. We are cognizant of the fact that, there are changes occurring. There are discussions happening. We are realistic in the fact that we will update and bring to the board every month as we have our meetings if any funding changes occur, and come up with a plan if funding was not to be identified or available, what would have to change. So it's something that we are consistently looking at. It definitely weighs heavy on me as the CFO, but that's something we're staying apprised of and we'll bring to the board as changes, if any changes occur.
Director Perea. The CEO would like to.
I would like to comment on very good question here. If anything changes, here are other impacts. And I just want to be really, from execution point of view, as the authority who's in charge to deliver, the changes to the commitments that are currently made through the 1 billion in 20 years, we have gone out and secured contracts based on that. So meaning the track and system, the one that we are launching today, and the P3 partnership on the infrastructure. That will be significantly impacted in a very negative way. So if we change midway now, appropriations, we just want to be clear-eyed about it, that there are commitments that we have moved forward with. And so those will be undone.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
if I may, thank you, Mr. CEO, for that comment. I understand the consequences of any changes to the appropriation. So I guess my question and follow-up then is there advocacy that this authority is doing to the legislature and the budget committees? I know we have members that are ex officios that are not with us today because they're probably negotiating the budget. So I'm wondering what advocacy position the authority is taking to the legislature in that case and making your point known to them as they negotiate all these things.
More than happy to take this offline and discuss that with you. Yeah, we have a lot of effort that is going on right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Director Perea.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And that was part of the question I was going to ask. Thank you for asking it, Member Elliott. We talked in the briefing. Thank you for the briefing. Just the fact that we also have that request in for a while with the Department of Finance to help us monetize our monies moving forward, and we're waiting for a response. I don't know, understanding Sacramento inside politics, how much of that is just the process or how much of the new governor coming in the next 4 months is playing in that decision. But if that doesn't happen in the next 4 months, say, we get the request that we want to monetize those monies moving forward, what impact does that have on things that we're doing now that have to be done before the end of the year?
Yeah, great question, Director Perea. The short term, it's not a significant impact because, we have a robust cash balance currently. We are expecting $1 billion to come in starting next fiscal year, which is about a week away as well. However, it does impact our planning. We would really like to be able to set the stage for what's going to go forward. I think CEO Chowdhury mentioned, there's a lot of work to sort of secure the future of bringing high-speed rail to fruition. It takes time to plan that. It's a long-term plan. We need to know that there's long-term stability to the funding.
CEO Chowdhury.
So goes back, Director Perea, to the point I was making earlier. So if we don't solve the cash issue to bring cash in advance, and go back to $1 billion a year construction, the project is not going to be on the schedule that we have today. So we do need a solution now. Real consequence of not solving it now and delaying it further is straightforward. The procurements that we are bringing to the board to move forward with, we have to stop those down the road. So that will be the real impact. This is not going to work according to our business plan that we presented, and we need to just go and revisit and find another way.
Okay, so what is the timing from your perspective, Ian, of when we have to have this decision by the Department of Finance?
We do want to have it before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay, at what point, if we're sensing that we're not going to get that, do we need then to officially notify the governor and the legislature that the business plan that we just sent is now not going to be met, and they need to understand that?
Project update report 2027.
That will be reflected in the
Early part of
2027 project update report. We have to revise everything that we presented in the business plan 26. The impact of not having cash, we have to then update the project update report. And
Yeah.
that will be the very different project. Yeah.
And we're just in a real delicate time, and obviously we're dealing with what we've been dealing with. But like I said earlier, we are going to have a new governor in the next 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know enough about politics to know there's already discussions or there's transitions already occurring. So how we fit into that transition and that discussion is going to be critical. And I don't know, Ian, if it's you that's meeting with them or if it's us as board members that need to start getting more active with the incoming governor and having discussions and of course the current, but I think we need to have these discussions so that there's no confusion. So, okay, just one question going back to your slide number 4.
Yes.
And again, thanks for the briefing. It was very, very helpful in providing me information. But I guess the cost avoidance, at least in the plan, depends a lot upon what we do or not do in Merced and Bakersfield with the station locations.
Absolutely.
And as it reflected in our business plan, our 171 mile plan now is the 162 mile plan based on the funding that we
Correct.
project that we're going to have. Okay. But as folks mentioned earlier, we're still working very actively with both communities to continue to look at the entire 171 and of course, hope that the funding comes in to finish the
Yeah.
project.
We're not closing the door on that. Still
Correct.
options are available.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay. Slide 6.
Any more questions? Yes, Director.
The
Hacho.
uncertainty of funding coming in, how does that affect the bidding process that we're pursuing currently?
It's a great question. I think that the more that this doesn't get resolved, you're going to see corporations do their own risk analysis of whether or not they should be spending their resources to bid on our packages. I think that's something that will most likely happen. So it's a very good question because it's a risk we'll have to take while this uncertainty continues.
Well, legally, we can't offer procurements out there if we don't have the money to pay for them. So I would imagine then it's going to discourage competitive bidding as we move forward.
We do have control mechanisms to help us with that, like the NTPs, notice to
Yeah.
proceed structures. I will mention some of that actually at the end of this presentation as well.
One comment on that, Director Camacho, is that if you recall, this project had challenges with track and system procurement at least twice or three times. And the industry's reluctance at the time to bid was primarily driven from the risk around the financing. We don't want to go back into those days where the industry thinks that even if we do the procurements out, or even if we do the NTPs the way we want to do it, this is resource intensive for companies to bid. And so with all our strategy to put any other measures minus the funding will also destabilize the way the industry is currently looking at it.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, if I
sorry.
could just
Sorry, Chair.
share opinion, I appreciate the questions because it shows that we're not in this by ourselves, that we need partners to support what the people of California want, and that's high-speed rail. And you have brought before us a plan and a budget for this year, and a plan that is consistent, which you are telling the authority board today, of the revenue that you have as of right now, notwithstanding other activities that are happening in this city, of $40 billion.
Correct.
And you
yes,
are
it's
providing
very-
us a plan to adopt today that is within that parameter. We are not overspending. We are being fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
If things were to change, it's not this board changing. It's other entities that are changing, and we're going to have to face that. But we need to face it together. I want to remain optimistic because I haven't been on this board for a long time, very short time. But since I've been on, positive things have been happening. And we're going to be laying track. And we did a $3.5 billion budget. And today on item 4, we're moving beyond the 119 miles. It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
It shows progress is being made. And I think by showing progress and for the authority and the staff to do what you're doing gives credence to people to want to support us so that we can help the people of California by completing this rail that they all deserve and need.
Well said.
So thank you.
Okay. Slide 6 provides a comprehensive view of the oversight and reporting structure the authority is under. Since the start of 2025, the authority has undergone 14 audits from a range of oversight bodies, including our own HSR, Office of Inspector General, our Internal Audit Office, the California State Auditor, State Controller's Office, and the Federal Railroad Administration. I'd like to take one point of privilege here. We just got a response back from the California State Auditor on our last fiscal, and it was a clean opinion for us. So that's very good for our accounting department and the people of the authority. In addition to these audits, there have been independent ISO, which stands for International Organization for Standardization, recertification and surveillance assessments completed by an accredited third party, which demonstrate a commitment to accountability that we operate at the highest global standards. As the authority is certified in 2 ISO certified management systems, ISO 9001 and ISO 45001. The authority maintains a robust internal controls environment. This includes an established governance structure, formal decision-making committees, standardized business processes, and an enterprise risk management program that enhance the identification and management of emerging risks and compliance-related issues. Collectively, and as illustrated in the graphic on the side, the authority's oversight framework is robust and it establishes a strong stewardship of public resources and continuous program accountability. Next slide, please. The next slide covers program process efficiency efforts. We have implemented 4 enterprise-wide process efficiency initiatives, and these initiatives include optimization of accounting workflows and reporting through automation in an effort to reduce manual processes and prevent errors, KPI dashboards and data visualization tools, where the objective is to plan the work and work the plan. Project Reporting Initiative to report manual assembly of reports and allow for more automated data pulls from our source systems. And finally, program-wide data platform consolidations. These initiatives seeks to enhance staff productivity, operational accuracy, and program data integration. Next slide, please. Another important update is the economic benefits of the investments the authority is making. Previously, we issued only an annual economic update, but going forward, we will start issuing quarterly updates on 4 key metrics: employment, labor income, economic output, and total state tax revenue. From January 2026 to March 2026, total program direct expenditures were roughly $365 million and supported an estimated 3,000 job years across California, generating approximately $303 million in labor income and contributing $678 million in total economic output to the state. The resulting economic activity during this period also resulted in $101 million in total state tax revenues. These will be posted on our website once we get that up and running. Slide 9. Okay, putting it all together for today's ask. The 2026 program baseline of $35.6 billion establishes our overall program to achieve a high-speed rail system between Merced and Bakersfield, complete Phase 1 environmental clearance activities, and support our regional bookend projects. The fiscal year 26-27 capital budget is a slice of that overall baseline and is requested at $3.6 billion. The administrative budget to oversee that is $117.9 million. The program baseline and fiscal year budgets will be continuously monitored with status reports provided monthly through the Finance and Audit Committee, and the reports are posted on our webpage. Budgetary decisions follow a rigorous process. We have established governance procedures to ensure no contracts are made without identified and projected funds. We utilize notice to proceed control mechanisms for material contracts to ensure capital expenditures do not exceed available cash, and adherence to the delegation of authority established by the board. As outlined in the 2026 business plan, this request keeps the program moving forward to a core functional high-speed rail system between Merced and Bakersfield, a step forward for the ultimate goal of connecting the major population centers of California. Next slide, please. In accordance with the existing board policies, we've brought this action item to the board to accept the 2026 program baseline and budget of $35.6 billion that aligns with the budget spending priorities outlined in the 2026 business plan. Further, the staff recommends the board accept the fiscal year 26-27 capital budget of $3.6 billion and the fiscal year 26-27 administrative and capital support budget of $117.9 million that aligns spending for the next year with the expected program revenues and spending priorities. This ends my presentation today for this
Thank you,
agenda
Mr. Metalka. Any further questions for Mr. Metalka? If none, do I have a motion to approve?
Okay.
Moved by Director Camacho, seconded by Director Perea. Call the roll, please.
Director Schenk,
Yes.
Director Chair Kava,
Yes.
Director Camacho,
Yes.
Director Elliott, Director Perea, Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item is approved. Thank you very much, and you can remain standing there. You are the presenter of the next item as well. Item number 3, Owner-Controlled Insurance Program, OCIP.
Okay.
Mr. Metalka.
Let's get moving here because this is a good one. So OCIP, Owner-Controlled Insurance Program, for approval for the board. So just a quick recap. We presented to the board in November 2024 and explained why an OCIP could be used, the benefits of it, and walked through the terms and costs associated with the program. So in November 2024, we previously presented a cost efficiency effort as an informational item. At the time, we outlined that the authority has an obligation under its railroad agreements to maintain $200 million in commercial general liability coverage during construction, and that the authority was meeting this requirement by requiring each construction package contractor to procure an individual policy. This approach created duplication and resulted in higher costs of insurance for the authority. We outlined how a strategy to bring an insurance broker to develop a consolidated CGL OCIP could reduce the cost of insurance for the authority, as well as improve oversight and increase access for small businesses. We are now returning to the board to request approval to execute on this plan. Next slide, please. Next slide. One more slide. Yeah, perfect. Okay, background. An owner-controlled insurance program is a centralized insurance model in which the owner, in this case us, the authority, rather than an individual contractor, procures and manages a single umbrella insurance policy that covers all participating contractors and subcontractors during construction. Our proposal would utilize this framework and replace the current practices of each individual civil construction contractor obtaining its own $200 million policy going forward. It provides uniform liability protection for construction activities as well. Next slide. This slide highlights the benefits of the OCIP by transitioning from contractor-provided CGL insurance to an OCIP. The authority can reduce insurance costs, which we estimate about 68%, while avoiding duplicate coverage and also easing pressure on the insurance market. An OCIP also eliminates coverage gaps, simplifies administration, and finally, reduces insurance barriers for the small businesses to work by providing them with contractually required insurance. Next slide. The key terms and coverage components of the proposed OCIP. First, the program provides $200 million commercial general liability limit, which satisfies the insurance requirements set by our railroad agreements for construction activity. It'll be a 7-year term, which aligns with the duration of our master program schedule. And it also includes 10 years of completed operations coverage, ensuring protection for any incidents of property damage or bodily injury due to construction defects or workmanship or other contractor-determined failures of completed assets that may arise after construction is finished. Finally, the OCIP covers $9.5 billion in contract value across major upcoming projects, including Fresno Station early works, track and systems construction beginning in CP4, the Merced and Bakersfield civil construction extensions, stations, and facilities. On the right side of the slide, you can see the cost comparison. The cost is $45.4 million to begin our OCIP versus the practice of contractor-led insurance, which would carry an estimated cost of over $143 million using our historical cost experience. Significant savings for the program. Approval of this item allows us to move forward with securing consistent project-wide insurance coverage that meets railroad requirements and is more cost-effective. We go to the next slide, please. Therefore, we recommend the board adopt the proposal.
Any questions for Mr. Matalka? Yes, Director Shank.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember this, and I'm very happy to see the progress that's been made on it and the savings. But my question, Jamie, you said that it's authority managed. Could you elaborate a little bit on who in the authority and the experience? And insurance is a complicated area, and do we have the expertise in-house to do this?
Yes, we do. I appreciate that question because I would like to take a moment to recognize our insurance manager, Kai Hung. He's actually sitting here with us today, part of our risk management team in our financial office. He's also supported by, and he has extensive experience coming from Caltrans. We were very lucky to bring him over here where he helped build their OCIP program. In addition, he is supported by industry experts, and they're actually here today as well. From a contract that we put together for our broker services. So we do feel like it's something that's easily managed with the resources that we have today.
Any further questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Moved by Director Perea, seconded by Director Shank. Call the roll, please.
Director Shank?
Yes.
Chair Cava?
Aye.
Director Camacho?
Yes.
Director Elliott? Director Perea? Vice Chair Williams? Motion carries.
Great. Owner controlled insurance program, item 3 has been approved. Let's move on to what I had mentioned earlier. Item 4. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Chair Chair Kava, Vice Chair Williams, members of the board. My name is Emily Morrison. I'm the Chief of Contracting here for California High-Speed Rail. I also have my colleague, Brent Boutsine, who is our Strategic Commercial Advisor here. Bringing an item to the board for you today for the Merced to Madera M2M Civil Works Collaborative Design Build. So what we're calling is a CDB, okay? Next slide. So ultimately, we're here today to request approval to solicit and execute an RFQ to reach an ultimate PPCA, which is a pre-proposal collaboration agreement. We are going out to market for the request for qualifications for pre-construction services and construction services for approximately 30.3 miles of new high-speed rail guideway that is going from Merced to the southern project interface at Construction Package 1 in Madera. Ultimately, we are looking to award a pre-proposal collaboration agreement to 2 best qualified contractors for a contract value for the design period not to exceed of $17 million each. So the ask here today is for a total of $34 million, 17 to each contractor. Next slide. So a little bit about the background for a collaborative design build CDB, okay? It is a collaborative approach in which the authority can ultimately use 2 contractors to reach design throughout the 9 to 12 month phase to ultimately reach what we would come back to the board to request approval for an RFP for the request for proposal. Currently, we have an existing contract that has a 30% design level and that we will be utilizing this for this collaborative design build. Next slide. All right, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague who's going to talk a little bit about the procurement.
Morning, everybody. I'll talk a little bit about the actual procurement itself beyond the initial phase that we're asking authorization for today, because it is a little bit different from the design builds that the authority has done in the past. So the RFQ that we're releasing today will seek qualifications from composed design build teams to do the civil aspects of Madera to Merced. At the end of this RFQ process, we intend to select 2 design build teams. In the past design build procurements, obviously they were lump sum design builds, so we went directly to 1. So the idea here with what we're calling collaborative design build is to combine aspects of a progressive design build model where you would choose 1 team and work with them collaboratively through, what we're doing is a 9 to 12 month phase to develop design further, to de-risk the project, to take their innovations and kind of do that together with them through early contractor involvement. We want to take the best aspects of that model, but that model, as it's been used in other places, also doesn't have any competitive tension at the end. So by keeping these 2 teams through this 9 to 12 month period and working in parallel with both of them to incorporate their technical concepts, continue our work with third parties and others to de-risk the project. At the end of that process, then they will submit a price proposal. So we still have competitive tension while, doing our best to balance the competitive nature with the ability to work collaboratively with them through that 9-month period. So we'll do that with the 2 teams. At the end of that, the firm fixed price proposal will come in. We will evaluate it on a best value basis like we would other design build proposals. And then, as Emily said, we'll come back to the board and request authorization at that time to enter into what will look more like a fixed price lump sum design build contract. But we will have gone through an extended period with the contractor to work through some of the kinks in that ultimate contract. So next slide. Maybe. Okay, so the idea is we will do the RFQ now, we will award that, and then this pre-proposal collaboration period will start at the end of the year. And then at the end of 27, that's when we expect proposals to come in. We will evaluate, probably fall 27 proposals will come in. We'll approve them at the end of next year, and that's when we will move into the construction phase. So that will include final design and it will include construction. So that's that period of time. That's where we're asking for $17 million in payment to each contractor team, design build team, to support their efforts over that period. The final contract value is currently estimated at $2.4 billion. So go to the next slide.
So during this pre-proposal, just briefly on what we're going to do during this period, Emily noted that we have 30% design currently. I think Sinsik would say that's only partially true because a lot of the optimizations that we've been working on over the last couple of years haven't been fully incorporated into that design. So we'll be asking the teams to take a look at the design work that we've done, re-baseline it, make any updates they want, and then advance that design. There will be deliverables, of course, that we will require for the money we're spending so that we can monitor that progress, but also give them the flexibility to advance design in riskier portions of the project and maybe not advance design in areas that are easier to price and are less risk. So at the end of, the goal is at the end of that 9 to 12 month process to have a design that is developed in a targeted way so that they can accurately price the project. And then, of course, once we enter into the final contract, final design and construction. So next slide. I don't think we need to spend time here, but this is the map, obviously, of the project from the end of CP1 to the Merced station, but the scope does not include the station itself, just to be clear. So I'll hand it back to Emily.
All right, next slide. A couple more things to add in case these are questions that come up. The two teams that we do select, the work that we do with them for the design will be confidential amongst each individual team. The collaborative nature of this procurement is us, the authority, with the individual designer versus collaborating across between the two. That way it protects, us along with the contractor for value engineering purposes and so on. So that collaborative is with us and the contractor, not across. Here is the anticipated procurement schedule that we currently have. Again, this is requesting approval for the RFQ and the award of 2 PPCAs, pre-proposal collaboration agreements, to 2 firms. We will come back to the board shortly after to request approval for the RFP in December of 2026. That RFP process will occur throughout the 9-month design phase. It is a evolving procurement despite having an award for the PPCA. It is a full procurement process for phase 1 to phase 2. We will come back to the board for approval again for the eventual award for the design build in roughly December, what we have slated as December of 2027. We anticipate releasing this RFQ very shortly after if we receive approval today, and we are looking to start evaluating the statement of qualifications as early as late September, early October. Next slide. All right. Again, as I said, requesting authorization today for the RFQ and the execution and award of the 2 PPCAs. Do we have any questions at this time?
Director Camacho.
So as I understand it, then you're going to issue 2 contracts, valued 17 million each, and then you're going to go to you're going to select one to go forward.
In the RFP.
Based on an RFP. Now,
Correct.
the only firms that are going to be able to bid that are the 2 that you've worked with already, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so the firm that is not successful, obviously it earned that 17 million in the work that they did.
Correct.
But we're also then paying 17 million to the winner.
Brent can clarify the structure on that.
We are currently, the way the payments will be structured under the PPCA.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, short answer is yes. The way the payments will be structured under the
Why
PPCA.
aren't we paying the winner? He's going to get it anyway. Why are we going to pay them 17 million?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
The intent is that we'll pay a portion of that as progress payments. It's a lot for them to carry over that long period of time. And I think the thought was that they would put that in their price anyways. So we will hold a portion back, of course. We're not going to pay the full 17 as
Yeah,
pay
I'm
go.
familiar with this process. We've
Yeah.
used it a lot in construction.
Sure.
But the fact that we're paying both of them is something new to me that I've never heard of before. So I understand that we pay the losers because they did work and they earned that. But the winner is going to benefit anyway, so it seems like we're paying them twice.
Just a point of clarification on that. So as they are advancing the design work, the winner,
Yeah.
because the losing team also did the same and we reimburse them for their work, the other team that is advancing is also getting paid as they go, but the deliverables that are coming out of that payment takes into the next phase, meaning if we were to start after the RFP, they will do the same thing. So that's the nuance of moving with the winner and paying them for the work they are doing and then not pay them later. So it's just one-time payment.
I just want the board to be aware that we're paying somebody, we're paying an additional 17 million, or we could have rolled it into the award of the next phase of the contract.
To the price. Yeah, that's fair. And I think some portion of that, because just the magnitude of work they'll be doing
Yeah.
probably needs to be paid. We don't intend to do it all as pay-go, as CEO Chowdhury was alluding to through milestones. We will have a portion of that for both the winner and the loser that is conditioned on submission of a responsive technical proposal to make sure that they submit at the end of this long journey with us.
It's a
Vice
compliment
Chair Wil-
clarification
Vice-
for this is good.
Vice Chair Williams.
Yeah, I definitely understand the concern here, but to be clear, the deliverables under the award of the job do not include work that was done prior to that award that would have been cost incurred for preparing, the bid. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, people can play games with the numbers, but the reality is we're paying both bidders for the cost of doing the bid. The winning bidder will get the job, and the deliverables under that job will not include those costs. So people can fudge numbers, but let's be transparent and clear and say, yes, they could have rolled them in, but those are not deliverables under the contract that is to be awarded.
But it's part of the contract.
Yeah, it's work that would need to be done to get through final design, but it's not duplicated. It will just roll right into the ultimate
Okay,
contract.
maybe that's the better way to say it. We're not paying them twice. We're just
Correct.
being transparent about the phases.
Any other questions? Yes,
No.
Director Perea.
Just wanted to be something clear in our discussion we had the other day, and again, thank you for the briefing. You're asking today for our approval to move forward with the RFQ and the RFP.
No, we are only requesting approval today for only the RFQ and the execution of the two pre-proposal collaboration agreements. We will come back to the board tentatively. So we're looking to have the pre-proposal collaboration agreements awarded roughly around November, December. And then that is we're in phase one, right? So in order to come back to the board for RFP approval, we will come back for that in December of 2026 with only approval for the solicitation of the RFP. And we will come back in late 2027 for the totality of the project for the design build.
Okay.
So it's only the RFQ, not the RFP today.
Okay, so our discussion the other day with respect to the 17 million for each,
Mhm.
did I understanding correctly that you're going to come back to this board for our approval for you to release that $17 million
No,
this December?
no, so that is for this process, right? It is approval to release the RFQ for this and award the two PPCAs that are a total not to exceed price of 17 million each for each designer. Very similar to when I came to the board for approval and award for our Fresno Early Works, did the design bid build. This is structured similarly. The RFP, which is phase two, will have a separate solicitation and award.
So today's request for approval is to do those two things.
Correct.
The RFQ and give you the authority to execute two $17 million contracts with two companies.
Correct.
Okay, how do we know, or when will we know the conditions of for each of these bidders and performance criteria for them? 'Cause that seems sometimes to be a gap as to
Yeah,
expectations for folks. Once we give them money, what do we get in return?
yeah.
And how do we hold them accountable?
Understand the question there. The deliverables associated with the PPCA and the deliverables that will be submitted as part of the proposal submission in the ultimate RFP that you see later this year, and we'll have another chance to review and approve are intended to track and be the same. So the board approval process, this step today, approving the $217 million, and the separate step to release the RFP, I think we should clarify that the PPCA and the RFP will govern that pre-proposal period concurrently. So we will come back to the board for approval to release the RFP before we actually execute those PPCAs. This is just the sequence of approval is different, but they will overlap when we actually execute the PPCA. So you will see those deliverables before we actually sign it because they go with the RFP as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Any further questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Moved by Director Camacho, seconded by Director Elliott. Call the roll, please.
Director Schenk,
Yes.
Chair Kava,
Aye.
Director Camacho,
Aye.
Director Elliott.
Aye.
Director Perea, Vice Chair Williams,
Aye.
motion carries.
That item is approved. Could I do a little housekeeping? The vice chair came back. He missed the vote on the prior item, not this item. And could I get a roll call or whatever necessary? To be recorded. Could we record him?
If I could be recorded as aye.
Yes. Record as an aye.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next item. Emily's staying up. Okay, great. Item 5, Procurement, Modernization, Delegations of Authority.
Thank you so much. Chair Kava, Vice Chair Williams, members of the board, Emily Morrison, I'm the Chief of Contracting here. I also have one of my colleagues who can introduce herself as well.
Hi, Tanya Southern. I'm an attorney for the authority. Nice to see you all.
So today what I bring to you before the board is to have an update of our overall policies to modernize the approach of what we are doing here at the authority to match what is prescribed in writing. I have presented to the board the multiple award task order contract, what we deem as a MATOC, along with the indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract called an IDIQ, tools of bench type contracts to help allow the authority to procure goods and construction services faster, more effective, more flexible, more nimble, along with ultimately helping support our small business goals in the Central Valley for work that we have come up. We have executed our MATOC contract and it is currently active. What our past policies have in writing don't necessarily contemplate this new way of doing a bench type contract. And so we're coming today to the board to request approval. Next slide. Ultimately, the delegations will stay the same as what they currently exist as, right? This is approval. The board retains approval of major procurements over $25 million and any change orders over $100 million. So the ultimate goal of this here today is not to update any delegation. It is just to include our bench type contracts into a way to contemplate how we can execute these task orders on a more effective, nimble basis. Here are my slides. A board is retaining approval and oversight of the business plan, the program baseline, as I said, the 25 and 100, and continuous monitoring of the contracts and expenditure reports, capital outlay, total project expenditures, funding and cash management report, support budget and expenditure, and accounts payable. All right, next slide. I'm going to turn this over to Tanya.
Put my glasses on. Thank you. So as Emily said, we're seeking to update the delegation of authority specifically to comply with applicable law that went into effect January 2025. And that is, as Emily also alluded to in the prior slides, a contract change order with a value greater than $100 million must be approved by the board. So irrespective of the delegation, law retains that, and we are updating our delegation of authority to ensure that that is memorialized, although in practice it's already been in effect. Next, we're seeking to update the delegation of the board to align, as Emily said, with existing delegation of authority process. Right now, you have a procurement under Section A that also goes with the contracting Section B. Those two are read together. It's one contract, one procurement and one resulting contract. So the new expedited and more efficient way of doing these bench contracts, we want one procurement, but we would like the ability to have multiple awarded contracts. Again, one procurement, but contracts that would go up to 25 million. We've added the extra layer for board oversight where we would allow that we would come back for any multiple award, whether it's the MATOC or the IDIQ. We would come back to the board if we're seeking to amend either by contract amendment or by a task order, come back to the board if we're seeking to authorize those to go past 25 million. So it's an extra layer where the board keeps that approach. We're also going to be consistent with the new contracting methods, as we just said, and it's also advantageous for small business. I know that's important to the board. We can't talk too much about the ongoing A&E IDIQ, but it is public knowledge that we have a small business pool. It's very robust competition, and that is where one contract can go specifically to small businesses. And we'll have hopefully multiple of those contracts. So we should be meeting and exceeding the authority's goals utilizing that process. Again, we're also aligning the existing delegation and procurement policies and procedures issued by the board to make them more economical and expeditious. Next slide, please. Key reasons for the updates, as we've talked about periodically over time, the board has updated the delegation of authority to our CEO. The last time, however, substantively was 2018, and then we also had an update for NEPA assignment and some environmental updates in 2019. Conversely, the board's RFQ and RFP policies have not been updated since 2007. That's when they were enacted. So that's 19 years old, and although it was great in terms of utilizing the processes to make sure we align with the board's updates and what they would like to see, they are a little outdated, don't allow for the multiple award process, and also we want to align the two policies and procedures with themselves. You can see from the red line submitted that now both the RFQ and RFP policies are aligned with each other as well as what the board would like to see. Lastly, just in closing, these updates to the three documents, the delegation of authority, the board RFQ policy and procedure, and the request for qualifications, RFQ, and request for proposals, RFP, policies and procedures. They align with the approach that we're taking to be innovative and more cost-effective and more expeditious, and it also creates an alignment with the information and the current policies. Next slide.
Before you go further, can you go back to slide?
Thank you, Tanya. Slide 4.
Can you go back to slide 4?
Yeah, of course.
Updating delegation to align with recent law, public code, whatever that is. So currently we have a limit of 25 million, and that is the limit of authority that staff has or the CEO has to award contracts. Because there's a state law that allows through the PUC, this delegation to be 100 million, does not mean that we have to follow that. So I don't understand why we're having to align with that if it's not something that we have to do.
So one thing I will bring, and then I will actually also turn over to Chief Counsel as well. But the one thing to stress here is that this is not, the goal of this is not to change or amend your current delegations. This is not impacting the 25 million that you have currently for any and all contracts or hypothetical task orders.
This requires the board to approve a contract change order with a value greater than 100 million. So that's more than what we currently have.
No, so there's that, and I will correct that. So for on the record, we are not changing any of the delegations that are currently held by the board. We are not increasing the authority for CEO Chowdhury. We are simply aligning what our policies show in writing that hasn't been updated since 2007.
Maybe I could ask.
Add here, words have meaning.
Of course, yes,
And
absolutely.
these words, as Director Camacho has pointed out, is very clear. It says requires the board to approve change order, et cetera, to 100 million. So either we need to go back to the wordsmithing on this so that it's very clear that we are not going from 25 million to 100 million, because all I have is what's in front of me. And to me, it says that we're upping from 25 to 100.
So the words on the slide, I would like to defer, that's just for the presentation. The words that we really care about are the delegation of authority that you have. And the changes are in section B. We have an amendment section. It used to be a Romanet 4. Now we've made it a numerical 4 and we've.
Slow down, tell
Yes,
us where.
sorry, go to the second page, section B, contracts and contract management. And the existing, so only the red lines are evidencing the changes.
All the interlining confusing.
Oh, we were
Been lawyering for a while, but it's.
we were trying to make sure it was clear what was already in effect since 2019 and what was new. The new change, so what was in effect, what is now number 4 in section B, with the only change to what was existing is we made the caveat that it's not just a contract, but it's also a task order for MATOCs and the IDIQs of the world. And in this, the board previously approved that we actually could, consistent with the program baseline and program budget, we could amend contracts over the 25 million. We could amend them by any dollar amount. Again, consistent with the program baseline and program budget. So that is always a guardrail through our existing policies. So what we have done to comply with this law is we have said, notwithstanding that provision that has been in effect since 2019, actually 2018, we are making note of this law. We've actually even cited the law in here and with an end note. And even though we had this delegated authority not tied to a specific dollar amount, we have now, this is a new guardrail consistent with the law, that no contract change order with a value greater than 100 million can be executed without approval of the board. And the wording is very precise because it exactly tracks with the language of 185036.2 of the Public Utilities Code. So it's actually
could the
a new
board
layer.
administratively, through policy direction here, maintain the $25 million threshold or lower it if it wants to?
Yes, the board, we will do whatever the board likes. And if you want to modify something now, we can do that.
So could I just I wanted to get clarity on this for everybody.
Yeah.
It is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we're not changing on the financial side any delegation of authority that currently exists.
Correct.
What
100%.
currently exists is the $25 million.
Mhm.
And if there were a change order over $100 million, that would come here.
Correct.
If there was a change order under $100 million, it would not come here.
Correct.
Currently.
Correct.
And that is not, none of that's changing.
Correct.
What is changing because of MATOCs and IDIQ is the way you're procuring things and doing things now with the multiplicity of contracts under those allows you to move forward more quickly but appropriately with small businesses and other folks. And so this is more of an efficiency thing based upon new procurement models that you have come. You're bringing this to us, and you decided at the same time to update whatever laws exist that are consistent with what we're already doing, because we were already doing it. And so I am very reticent ever to delegate any authority that a board that I sit on. So I'm not delegating additional authority.
Mr. Chair,
Correct.
I think
100%.
There's a misunderstanding with, and now I understand where the confusion is what you've said is that there is currently that the staff is allowed to make a decision on a change order up to $100 million. That is not my understanding, nor is it some of my colleagues on the board. We never have it. That has never been our understanding with the delegation of authority. We moved it from 10 million to 25 million, but that included change orders. And the reason we moved it to 25 million is to give them more latitude. It was never our understanding that we currently have a delegation of authority on change orders up to $100 million.
Well, I will, if I could, I would like to ask the general counsel, I'll defer. As you know, I've been here since June. When I was onboarding, in my onboarding, they had mentioned to me the 25 million and the $100 million because that was consistent with the state law that was existing. And so that's what I was briefed on. And so, General Counsel.
Thank you, Chair Cava. Director Camacho, Chair Cava's statements are correct. So the delegation of authority before the change today, we have to keep things distinct buckets, right? There's a procurement, you go out, you ask for bids. A contract award happens. Contract award prior to today, anything over 25 million, we had to come to the board. There is a change order. Change orders occur during the construction process. There's differing site conditions, things happen. Change orders did not require us to come back before the board under the delegation of authority before today until the law changed, as Tanya mentioned, which was in 2019. When that law changed, any change order over 100 million had to come back before the board. Prior to that law, we had full authority on change orders. Contract amendments, the authority had full authority on contract amendments. The change here before you today is just to reflect the existing practice, about $100 million for change orders, and we have the new guardrail that amendments on our multiple award or IDIQ would come back before the board if they were over 25 million. So that's actually an additional protection for the board coming to you for those. Does that help clarify the prior state and the new?
No.
Mr. Chairman,
Director.
may I ask, what would be the negative effect if we tabled this particular item and we brought in particularly Member Escudia, for whom change orders, I mean, she's our change order expert, and unfortunately she couldn't be here today, so that we can get clarification on this, because there's obviously misunderstanding on the part of a number of board members here.
Thank you, Director Shank. So the issue is that this would slow down or this would impede our ability to award task orders under the MATOC contract. So the MATOC contract, one solicitation, multiple contracts. Once we hit 25 million, then we would have to bring every single 25 million cumulative, we'd have to bring every single one back before the board. So right now, if we had 5 task orders and each of those were $6 million, the 7th task order or the 6th task order, we would have to bring back before you, even if it was only a $3 million task order, because we've already hit 25 million. So it would basically stall out the efficiency of the task order process.
Change orders you're talking about?
No, that's task orders.
Okay, that's different. I get what you're saying. They should do that anyway. If it's 25 minutes,
But you would be seeing $3 million task orders, $4 million, $2 million task orders, because we would have already hit the 25 million.
Where we currently stand, we have hit approximately $24.5 million. We have an upcoming task order that's valued at 986, I think it was like $980,000 that I cannot execute until we have an updated policy that reflects that I am allowed to utilize MATOC for all of these individual contracts. So right now I have almost 1 million along with several other contracts. These contracts are slated to go to small businesses in the Valley, so that will freeze the work for those small businesses.
Chairman, if that was a motion by Chairman Shank, pending review, I'll second that motion.
It wasn't a motion, it was a.
Could I try to, if we table this, the practice still is that they could approve a change order under $100 million. Correct?
Chair Cava, that's correct.
So the issue that is raising concerns about the $100 million, we're not impacting it by lowering today because it already exists.
There's some
Right.
debate about that, and that's and
Right. So what we're trying to do today is not on the $100 million. It's on the MATOCs in the IDIQ, which it doesn't seem to be controversial. Everybody seems to agree that we should be more expeditious and use those 2 procurement methods to move forward. Could I propose that if we want to readdress the issues of $100 million on change orders or change orders, that's the item that we bring back before the full board after a discussion at Finance and Audit, and we talk about it. But I would really like to move forward today on this because there are businesses that need, I mean, we are not scheduled right now to meet till August.
What do we pull out of this agenda item so we can have that discussion?
I will, as chair, can agendize an item.
I understand that, but I mean, they're asking us for pretty broad approvals today, and I say we consider pulling things out of this agenda item that would not impact moving forward with MATOC and IDIQ.
Chair Kava, if you'd like. So it sounds like what the board is proposing is to modify the proposed resolution before you to remove the section B4A regarding change orders and table that provision, but move forward with the resolution to propose this modified delegation of authority for the remainder of the items. And so we could modify the resolution accordingly if that was the direction of the board.
All right. I think that's a solution that we all can agree on. And so I have a motion by Director Schenk, second by Director. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Wait, before we take.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, again, going back to our briefing this week on this item, and that's a good move, moving that section out of this. But let me tell you what my concerns are with the item overall. I mean, as I've said before, I support the MATOC and IDEQ as a process and opportunity to move the project forward faster. What I don't like is that I think we are moving forward too quickly without all the proper guardrails in place. Now, I know in our discussion, when I brought up the issue of the IG report in January that specifically talked about our procurement process. I mean, I think overall they said we have a good process, but they pointed out some issues with respect to whether we were meeting our timelines when we put out timelines of when we were going to get things done. But I know we answered saying, well, yeah, we didn't meet our timeline, but it's okay because of this other reason. It's okay. Okay. Well, that's one thing. But the other was they talked about the fact that the MATOC and the IDQ have to have the proper guardrails in place so that we don't have issues of conflict of interest. We don't have issues of, not properly allocating resources to whoever may be getting the contracts. And I know in our discussion, Tanya, you indicated that the protocols for the MATOC were on your desk and I signed, and assuming they're signed off now for the MATOC. But I guess what puzzled me or troubled me was that we're moving forward, coming to a board saying, give us much more authority and responsibility to move quickly on expenditure. I think the IG said over, approximately $13 billion over the next 2 years. Put more of that authority in our hands without us having to come back to you for these approvals. And I'm not comfortable with that, especially in light of the fact as we move forward, in our discussion, because I had asked maybe 2-3 weeks ago from our board secretary, said, hey, get me the latest or get me the current policies and procedures, protocols, et cetera, for the MATOC and the IDEQ. And it was crickets until our meeting a few days ago. And then you advised me that they were sitting on your desk for the let me finish. Mm-hmm. They were sitting on your desk. The other was on the IDEQ. I was told then at our meeting that those were sent to the IG maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and we hadn't heard back from them. So what? So again, I sit here as a board member and I have staff asking me and this board to give you more authority to release not just the RFPs, RFQs, et cetera, but actually release the funds without you coming back to this board for quality control, for oversight. And I just don't have a comfort level of that today. I mean, I'm glad that we're going to be removing that one section so there can be further discussion. But I don't know. I think in the last year and a half or so, since Ian's been here, this program has moved miles ahead, leaps ahead. Okay, but I think moving forward as a board, we have a responsibility to make sure that we're moving forward in a responsible way. And I think a responsible way is not giving staff basically the keys to the kingdom here to spend money without the board having, I think, proper oversight. Then I tie into the political perspective on this. I mean, we know that Sacramento legislature and governor's office have some concerns this past year about some missteps we have made that have created some problems for them, and it's affected some of their decision making and some of their questions on funding. And I think this morning, Commissioner Elliott brought up the issue right now today. The legislators debating the $1 billion a year they're giving us, and part of that debate has to do with some of the things that we've done. And now we're sitting here today as a board being asked to give away more authority. Okay. And I guess the only thing, the ribbon I'll tie that with is, like I said earlier, we have a new governor coming in who supports high-speed rail, but has been very clear that he wants to take a different look at what that may look like in terms of implementation. And for us as a board, 4 months out of an election, to be giving away more authority from this board, I think is not a prudent thing to do. I think we could wait. So, like I say, I'm glad we're separating the items today. That's good. But I'm still not going to be supportive of this item for the reasons that I've articulated.
Thank you, Director, CEO Chowdhury.
So nothing in this request is changing anything what we do today. To your point, Director Preya, there is no changes to way we do procurement. We added new processes we brought to the board in November, December, throughout every meeting we had. I personally spoke about it in the last board meeting and the one prior to that about IDIQs and MATOCs. IDIQs and MATOCs are not created for high-speed rail. These processes have been in place for 60, 100 years. We are implementing efficiency in our program. So when we award a contract, over 25 million comes to the board, always, and will continue to do that. This is exactly what we are asking, is that under the MATOC concept, the contract awarded to a contractor for go do some fencing work for $1 million, and then another contractor we find in Central Valley to do some concrete slab work that is $10 million. And then we have another one doing some fencing. Combine that becomes 3 different companies, 3 different contracts, 3 different projects. In the MATOC and IDIQ concept, combine all those, let's say they reach 25.6. We have awarded those contracts, and then we now hit the limit because the current policy does not accommodate IDIQs and MATOCs. So nothing is getting changed here at all. So if there is a concern to say one company will go above $25 million, that's not going to happen because every contract have a start-finish date. You start with the scope, you finish it, you qualify them competitively through the task orders based on the 4 criteria that we created, we talked about in the last board meeting, which is their personnel, the price, the specialty work that they have, are they qualified to do that? And then the schedule of work. You have those companies that are shortlisted and are on the bench, they will provide you proposals and you will choose the most competitive, advantageous, lowest price bidder. The MATOC overall allows you to do that. If that one contractor reaches over 25 million in their proposal because the work needs it, we will come to the board. We will always come to the board for that. So I want to make sure that we are understanding and I provide clarity on that. There is no change to awarding contracts. Over 25, we will come to the board.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just respond real quickly. I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Ian, I understand what you're saying. I guess what I'm going to underscore on my concern, and I think you as our CEO should have that concern too, is the fact that the IG took the time to complete a report on this very issue. Okay. And I think staff has responded accordingly. However, at the end of the day, we have two processes, MATOC and IDEQ, that have policies and procedures. One is not even in place. Okay, your IDEQ policies and procedures, your guardrails are not in place, board. Okay, your MATOC apparently got in place yesterday. Okay, and I think as the CEO, you should be at least aware.
So,
And no, well, let me finish. Aware and just at least have the concern that those guardrails are in place so that as you start executing everything that you talked about, it's happening in a sequence and it's a logical sequence that's happening. Board, we don't have those on half of what we're being asked for today. And it just seems to me it's not prudent to move forward with that's not in place. And I don't know if the IG is in the audience listening or listening on air, but I think until we hear from the IG in a response to a report they gave in January of 26, and then saying, okay, we have your policies and procedures both. They look good. We bless them. Yeah, they comply or whatever it is that they do. We should at least hear that. But I don't know. That's my concern.
I'll just make a quick comment, and then I think it's up to the board to decide. So we have put in place MATOC policies and procedures, and MATOCs are the one moving forward. IDIQs are not awarded. Plans, policies, and procedures are there, and nothing will be awarded without those policies and procedures in place. That's the work that the team has done. So we are moving through MATOCs. We will be moving through IDIQs later, maybe in September, October. All those guardrails, policies, and procedures will be in place like we did for MATOC. That's just one comment to make. This is all about making the program more efficient. It's up to the board now to decide.
Vice Chair Williams.
Just, and I'm happy to get back to the motion. I think that's on the floor, but I just want to just clarify the record here. Because the statement has been made that we're giving something. We're not giving anything. In 2024, the legislature enacted a bill. The only provision in that bill was to set the CEO's authority for change orders at $100 million. The board had already set that level, or did we set that level in response to that legislation?
You can talk to them.
Yes. Effective in 2018, the
Right.
board, again, Section B, Contracts and Contract Management used to be, it's 4 on the board's document today, but it used to be Romanet IV, Romanet 4. It always allowed the authority to amend any contract by any dollar amount consistent with the program baseline and program budget. So that's been in effect for 6+ years.
Right. Okay. So the CEO already has the authority up to $100 million to approve a change order.
Correct.
That's not changing today. That was in existence prior to today.
Correct.
Okay. And the other thing that I would also note is that maybe some of the confusion is that we do require the CEO to report change orders to the board on a monthly basis that are over $25 million. But it's not the approval authority, it's a reporting requirement. Okay, so that currently exists. So we have that oversight. And I would just note for people who weren't up this morning when we were here in the Finance and Audit Committee that we looked at, just so happens that there weren't any change orders to report today, but we looked at contract executions as low as $55,000. So there's quite a bit of transparency in terms of what the board is doing, what the authority is doing in terms of what the board has access to and oversight of in holding folks accountable. I do look forward to the conversation because I have just some questions about how that would impact process and delivery of projects. I'm not taking a position now on whether it should be reduced or increased. But I do want to just clarify, we're not giving anything away today. We weren't, and I understand that there's a motion on the table that, or maybe coming, that would maintain the status quo, and we can have a further discussion about this.
And just for me, for clarification, on the IDIQ, you're not letting anything under that until the policies are in place.
Correct. IDIQ is an active solicitation. We haven't even executed that contract.
Right. So,
We clarify, and we'll come back to the board and provide you what the task ordering guide looks like for IDIQ prior to execution of that contract.
thank you.
Absolutely.
So that will come back to the.
Mr. Chairman, one of the things that is troubling, we just came off of awarding a 500 and some odd $1 million change order. So the word change order it raises the hair on the back of my head. And so we have to start to control these costs. We don't have an unlimited budget. And if we don't start to control at least what we're responsible for, we have to execute oversight. And to me, this is part of that execution of oversight. We need to do that. And it's frightening to me when we start, and we're not done with change orders. We have CP1 still coming at us, which is going to be 100 and some or $200 million. So we still have a lot of change orders coming at us. And to say that we're giving away the authority, and again, it's a misunderstanding because I was under the impression that the change orders also came to us anything over $25 million. And but that's what we were left with an impression.
I appreciate that. And I think Director Shank's motion will remove that $100 million from this item. But I think refocusing on the item itself, which the item itself is to have May talks to get it out there. We're not meeting again for a while. There are contracts to be let, work to be done. And it seems that everybody I have spoken to, the attorneys have all looked at this, other folks have looked at this as inefficiency. And part of our job is to be as efficient as possible since the dollars are scarce. And so.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I think you've come up with a good
Okay, great.
compromise
Yeah.
here, one that I'm comfortable with. I
Let's-
just say that to me, delegation of authority, acronym DOA, always means dead on arrival. So could we find some other way of saying that?
All right, with that, I have a motion from Director Shank.
Oh, what exactly?
Yeah.
What exactly is the motion that we're voting on? I just.
Could I have the
Chair
General
Cobb, would
Counsel
you like me
just
to clarify?
Yeah.
So the resolution before the board, we would modify the resolution to approve the delegation of authority document with removing paragraph B, subparagraph 4, subparagraph small b there, or excuse me, small a, which would be notwithstanding this delegation, in order to comply with applicable law, a contract change order with a value greater than $100 million shall be approved by the board. That would be redlined. We would approve the remainder of the delegation of authority track changes as provided, along with the RFQ and RFP revised delegations that were presented with the board materials. I believe I'm correctly looking at Tanya, correctly stating the board's proposed revision and a resolution to approve the delegation of authority with that revision.
Director Elliott, any further questions?
No, that's
Okay,
good. Thank
great. So we have a motion seconded by Director Camacho. Call the roll, please.
Director Schenk? Chair Kava?
Aye.
Director Camacho?
Aye.
Director Elliott?
Aye.
Director Purea?
No.
Vice Chair Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, directors. Now we move on to the next item, and it's another action item, and this is our auditor. If Paula, you could come up on our internal audit plan for the fiscal year.
Good morning. See if I can stay close. I'm Paula Rivera, Chief Auditor with the Authority. Today, I will present information about the status of audits from last year's audit plan, the results of our internal quality assessment, and our proposed audit plan for the next fiscal year. So there are two agenda items. One is the approval of next year's internal audit plan, and one is acknowledgement of the quality assessment that we've done. since they're different actions, we have two items. I'll present them together. Next slide, please. A little bit of background. The Authority Audit Office reports to the Board of Directors for organizational independence. Functionally, the Board of Directors approves the audit plan. Administratively, the Audit Office reports to the highest level of the authority at the CEO. We're organized into 3 units. Each unit is a senior, a lead, an associate, and an auditor. Next slide, please. The components of this year's audit plan are performance audits. And though in the performance audit, the audit objectives are determined based on the nature of the audit purpose in conjunction with management. We have pre-award reviews on the audit plan, and this is an evaluation of proposed rates prior to contract execution to assist in the negotiation of a fair and reasonable price. These are only done for contracts where they are awarded based on qualifications only, where price is not a component. So after the team is identified, there's a notice of proposed award, and a pre-award review is performed of the prices or the rates that are proposed. The third element in this year's audit plan is contract compliance audits. We have 2 carryover audits where these audits were determining compliance of costs reimbursed by the authority with the contract provisions, including the federal cost principles. Next slide, please. The audit standards we follow are the global internal audit standards that are used for performance audits, pre-award reviews, and other audit services that result in a report. We also follow generally accepted government auditing standards, and those are used for audits of federal funds, specifically the contract compliance audits that we do, where we're looking at cost billed and reimbursed. Both sets of standards were revised in early 2024. There were external quality assessments and internal quality assessments requirements. The audit committee reporting was updated, and there are additional documentation requirements. We've revised our processes to comply with both sets of new standards. Next slide, please. The audit standards require that I report the progress we've made on our prior year audit plan. And so there were 2 pre-awards for 2 procurements. We completed the pre-award for right-of-way engineering services contracts. We issued an audit on a report on an audit that we did on civil work certification, where we evaluated the authority's process for ensuring the civil construction projects comply with the requirements. That report was presented at the last board meeting. We also obtained an understanding of the existing processes associated with time-related overhead for construction contracts. We performed interviews and walkthroughs. The element in last year's audit plan was for us to gain expertise. There was not a particular workload identified with that. Next slide, please. We also had 4 contract compliance audits on last year's plan. The Bakersfield extension was issued in September 2025. The Merced to Madera was issued in January 2026. Burbank to Anaheim, we're in the process of writing a draft report, which should be issued soon. It was a 10-year contract, and we audited 12 consultants. We're also working on the Palmdale to Burbank section, and that's also a 10-year contract. And it has audits of 8 sub-consultants. We estimate that report will be in October of 2026. Next slide, please. This year's audit plan is to complete the work in progress, those 2 contract compliance audits. We have 3 planned pre-award reviews. There will be we're proposing an audit of contract management, an audit of the management of the procurement schedule, an audit of governance, and an analysis of workforce planning. That's the first agenda item. The second agenda item is we performed a quality assessment review of our internal quality assurance and improvement program in compliance with the audit standards.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Well, we're still,
Yes,
before we move
Director Schenk.
forward.
Oh, yes.
For the prior year audit plans, you have you, any concerns that you want to bring to the board that these audits revealed? Anything that we should know about?
They highlighted potential risks with the authority's contract management processes, and that's why we've put an audit of contract management as the first thing on our audit plan for this upcoming fiscal year.
And Director Schenk, I believe at the April 29th meeting of the Finance and Audit Committee, you presented and you outlined some of your audits with concerns. And I know my predecessor and the vice chair at the time, who were both members of that committee, expressed to make sure that the authority would work with the auditor. There were a number of items that were of
I was not
concern.
at that meeting, so
Yeah.
so wanted to make sure that publicly it doesn't hurt to repeat it.
Right.
You know?
I was
Yeah.
going to reiterate. Yeah.
Yes, especially on these long contracts where they've lasted 10 years, the policies that the authority has in place currently were not in place at the time. And so we've noticed that there were the gaps in the contract management of the authority. So the audit will be to look at what's currently in place and how contracts are currently being managed.
And in all these other audits, that's the main concern that you came up with.
Yes,
Okay.
the audit plan it's a risk-based audit plan. We interviewed members of the Finance and Audit Committee at the time, and the executive management team, and also the audit office. We gathered risks from all of those individuals, did a risk assessment, and came up with these as the highest risks to the authority that we could audit.
Thank you.
And before you go to the next item, while we're on this, on the governance, members of the board, I would like to have the auditor look at board governance, our own governance. I'm a strong believer in audits, and I think if the authority and other aspects are being audited, we ourselves as a board should be audited on our own governance and get the advice and work. Yeah. Yes. Director Perret.
Paul, it triggered a question for me, this discussion. What role does your office play, if any, in with for example, the review and audit of the MATOC and IDEQ policies and procedures?
We play no role in the review of those procedures.
But in your pre-award item, you do mention IDEQ that you will be looking at that.
We look at the results of the procurement.
Yeah.
We're not reviewing the procedures and whether or not the procedures were complied with for the solicitation.
Who would have that role?
I don't know. Who has that role?
So currently, the IDIQ and MATOC, right, specifically our legal office provided the legal sufficiency and audit review to make sure it is in line with the state contracting manual, rules and regulations that we have here at the authority and current policies. So how we have it structured currently is our legal office provided us a quote unquote audit oversight. I do have an independent audit function in my office that audits to making sure on a regular basis that the procurement staff are following the rules and guidelines of the task ordering guide. I think as we had mentioned to you in the briefing, we have a very, very robust task ordering guide. You know, as our CEO Chowdhury has mentioned, this is not a new procurement. This is something that has been done for, 50, 60 plus years. Traditional task ordering guides that I am familiar with would be approximately 7 to 10 pages is the most robust task ordering guide I've ever seen. We wanted to make sure that we had all policies in place for proper guardrails which includes the actual templates that the staff utilize for these ordering guides. So our legal office did and performed a legal and oversight audit of those ordering guides. And we internally also audit my staff to make sure that they're following those on a regular basis, including putting those documents in the file.
Okay. In that case, you're auditing yourself.
Traditionally, contracts, yes, that you do.
Paula's operation is within the authority, but it's somewhat independent in terms of what it does. Why wouldn't we, at the end of the day, as you go through your same first MATOC process, why wouldn't part of this annual review, why wouldn't this operation be taking a step back, looking at your policies and procedures, and then what actually happened and providing oversight, a review of was everything followed? Why wouldn't we do that?
Absolutely happy. Again, this is, I traditionally, Paula, that's reserved for her discretion of what you would like to audit. And so I'm happy if you would like to perform an independent audit of the process that we go through. I do welcome that. Happy to provide any additional information.
I think Dr. Bryant, we will look into that. Actually, good suggestion.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make it as a board direction or policy that.
So
that-
Director Pereira, on this item itself is item 7 says special requests. So this board can make a special request of Paula, the auditor, to look at a variety of things that we want during the course of the next year. And so as we're just adding ourselves to that and the governance and as a special request.
Could we make that special request today that the MATOC and IDEQ program be audited by Paula's operation?
So I don't know the best way to phrase that. I'm just cautious because it's a broad term, and so I'm happy to bring it back to the board and where we have specificity on what we're requesting of the auditor prior to just giving a blanket go audit. If that's okay, at a next meeting, I can put an agenda item on a subsequent meeting.
When could you bring that item? Next meeting?
Yeah, so now work with you on
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. So, go ahead.
Okay.
I know you have another item that part of this, yeah.
Yes, please. So we have an internal quality assurance and improvement program. We did an internal assessment, so we audited ourselves. Every year, 2 out of 3 years, we do an internal assessment. And in the 3rd year, we bring in other auditors from other state agencies, and they do an external assessment. So this is a review that was done by 2 senior managers. They looked at one of each type of audit or assignment that we do, a pre-award, contract compliance, and an internal audit. And they found that our processes complied with the audit standards. In August 10th, the outside audit team, the external peer review, will be happening, and I'll bring the results of that to the board when they issue their final report.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Yes, Director Shank.
My annual question, Paula, do you have the staff and resources that you need to conduct all these audits?
We do. We have, our audit plan is based on the resources that we have in place.
Thank you.
Great. And so I believe item 6 is an action item, but the last item was just an information item. So do I have a motion to move item 6, which is the internal audit plan for the fiscal year?
Second.
Moved by Director Pereira, second by Director Camacho. Call the roll.
Director Schenk,
Yes.
Chair Kava,
Aye.
Director Camacho,
Aye.
Director Elliott,
Aye.
Director Perea,
Yep.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We're moving into a series of information items, and we will begin with item 8, the California Corridor Long-Term Energy Resiliency Asset Commercialization Network Partnership. Maybe we should have it a little bit longer title.
I was pretty impressed, Chair Kava, that you were able to flow through that.
Yes.
Very, very.
I've been practicing all night.
Cal clean. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. I will not be as efficient as you were, Chair. All right. Good morning, Chair Kava, Vice Chair Williams, members of the board. My name is Emily Morrison, here to present an informational item. Again, this is a non-voting item, informational item for the request for qualifications for Cal Clean partnership agreement. I have with me here, again, my colleague, Brent Butzine, who is our strategic commercial advisor here at the authority. Next slide, please. All right, a little bit of the overview. We're going to go through this as we're going to give you an overview of the RFQ, some of the important dates that we have coming up, what we're looking at for ideal respondent qualifications, what the statement of qualifications, evaluation criteria, and results show, and the phased activities and next steps. So again, this is going to be doing a one-step RFQ, requesting statement of qualifications, SOQ, from respondents. Next slide. So our wonderful acronym we have here, Cal Clean, that Chair Cava did so effectively. The California High-Speed Rail Corridor-Wide Long-Term Energy Resiliency and Asset Commercialization Network Partnership. We have a lot of pieces that go into what we're looking for this partner, and I'm going to turn this over to my colleague Brent to go into details of the RFQ.
Sure. Thanks, Emily. And I'm actually coming out of the bullpen on this one because our financial advisor, Thierry Prate, is on vacation. So I will do my best. So I think it's worth pausing for a moment to talk about, because I think the board's heard a lot about public-private partnerships over the last 6 months, and the co-development agreement that colloquially we've called CDA1 that was signed this week. This is the second of the public-private partnerships that you've probably heard about over the last 6 months. Initially this was called CDA2, but now it's Cal Clean, to provide a little more clarity about what this one is actually targeting. And I will emphasize a couple areas where it is different from the other P3 co-development partnership agreement that we're pursuing in parallel. So for this one, I think it's worth starting with what is a clean project. This RFQ is seeking respondents who can do a couple things that do not overlap with the prior P3 solicitation. So we're looking for large folks who can do utility scale clean power generation, transmission, and distribution, as well as other technology and infrastructure uses that are compatible with high-speed rail operations, but this is not for a partner to do high-speed rail operations within our corridor. So it's targeting things that have a meaningful potential scaled revenue share. Think data, fiber optic infrastructure, things that have a natural nexus with the power generation itself. This is also going to be a 3-step as opposed to the 2-step in the other P3. So initially, what we're going to solicit here are qualifications to enter into a project identification agreement. So what we're going to be doing here is identifying partners who have the qualifications and experience. And then the first step will be, and we'll get into the timelines in the next slides, but it's a, call it roughly 6-month step for them to help us shape the project. So, that was combined into a single phase in the other P3. So here we will do that first. And then the second step, if and when presumably we've identified both a partner and then we've entered into what we're calling the PIA with them, and they've proceeded to identify what the CalClean project or projects that they want to package and pursue, we will then in parallel negotiate a pre-development agreement, which would presumably come back to the board for, it may not require approval because there's no funding contemplated at this time associated with that agreement, but certainly an informational item to tell you who and what we're doing. And then that agreement would include the project development work that would culminate ultimately, if we were to get there, in a development and lease agreement or an implementation agreement of some sort to actually do the project. So right now, all we're doing is identifying a partner and entering into the project identification. So go to the next slide. Oh, is there a question? Sorry.
Do we have a question over there?
Okay.
I have one quick question. I'm sorry. In this process, you explained it, are we expending or authorizing the expenditure of any money to these folks after the RFQ?
Minimal consideration under the PIA, so we have to have a dollar, but no, we're not compensating them the way we did under the first P3.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So as I mentioned, this initial project identification stage, we expect to be about 6 months, no money expended, true exploratory phase with the developer team that we select. Next slide. So timing for this, I'll just keep going through if that works. Yeah, it's easier. So we're going to release the RFQ pretty much immediately after this informational item with SOQs coming in August. So given the multiple steps and the 3-step that I described, this is a much faster process. We expect this to be a quicker process. So we anticipate getting SOQs from the teams. I'll talk a little bit in the coming slide about what we're looking for by late September and have them under contract with this initial project identification agreement this fall by October. So next slide. Let's just skip this one and go to the next one because they're essentially saying the same thing. So what we're looking for in the teams, and really team is, we say loosely, we're really looking for a single respondent that has the qualifications to do all of these things. They may, of course, have subcontractors and others with them. But we're looking for firms that have the experience to actually develop this energy infrastructure as well as the associated commercial opportunities within the corridor, basically in-house, as well as experience with financial structuring and the ability to really generate private investment. Again, I mentioned we're looking for large-scale revenue sharing opportunities out of this. Of course, technical capabilities in-house are going to be needed along with that. We're going to be looking at their experience with navigating the regulatory frameworks. Obviously, we're talking about energy generation, transmission, distribution. The regulatory landscape is everything. So we're looking for folks that have the scale and experience to do all of this. And then, of course, examples, demonstrated experience with, having done this in partnership with other public entities, models for revenue sharing, et cetera, et cetera. So next slide. And then this just sort of describes the path forward and the journey we're going on. So we mentioned that the RFQ will go out now, and this will be the short procurement phase through the fall. We'll enter the project identification phase where we're identifying the clean projects and really agreeing on the scope of what that might look like and sort of the terms for going forward. Then we would have a separate pre-development phase where we would really dig in on identifying scope, specs, costs, and any commercial terms associated with an ultimate deal before we would then, of course, at that point in time, come back to the board for approval of any ultimate deal. So this is very, very early phase at this point. So that's what we're explaining today is kind of the path we're going on. So I guess if there are any questions.
Director Elliott.
Thanks very much for the presentation. I have a couple questions here. So as I understand the process that you just laid out, the board, we're receiving an informational item, so we're not acting to grant authority for this RFQ. And the next time this would come back to us would be after these 4 phases of the little arrows that you just showed, and we'll be asked to potentially approve a deal. Is that right? There are no other board touch points between now and when?
We fully expect to come. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Can we pull back up the arrow picture? I just want to verify. So I have the accurate answer for you.
Thank you.
Member Elliott. The 4 arrows. Okay. So right now, we are only here today to present the procurement phase. We are only here to present the RFQ. There is nominal consideration, minimal consideration of that nature. We will, when at any point where we believe that the work totality exceeds the delegation of authority, that would be brought to you as an action item for that. We will likely enter, so we're going to do the procurement phase, the project identification phase. We will work with the contractor. Again, minimal consideration, no cost at that time. In arrows 3 and 4, we will have additional items for you, either updated informationally if there's no additional monetary value, or if there's value attributed to it, we will be asking for approval.
Thank you for that clarification. And I do understand that's responsive to what my colleague was asking about the money associated with this. My question was a little bit more about the policy shape of this. So let me just get straight to my question, because I'm going to assume the answer is that we're not going to be consulted a ton on the shape of the design of what projects come forward, because in your presentation, you sort of laid out two categories. There was I'm oversimplifying. There was clean energy, transmission, generation, distribution, infrastructure. And then there was something else, that a second category you called meaningful potential, scalable revenue shares. So that could be code for data centers. And I'm interested in expressing my own personal opinion that I'm not comfortable providing a blanket authority to staff to go and work on something that would then come back to us, where data centers are a key component piece of whatever P3 we are moving forward, and we're being given basically an up or down gun to the head. This is what it is, take it or leave it. So I will just say, if there are no further touch points with the board of directors between now and when the shape of that deal comes back to us, I'm not talking about the financial impact. I understand that. The shape of the deal, the component pieces of the deal, then I just want to register my skepticism about having something predicated on data centers being a necessary part of that public-private partnership until we have an ability to have a deeper policy conversation about that.
I appreciate that, Director Elliott. I do believe Brent said in his presentation that what we're doing, and you said what we're doing, because you said financially, if it's a financial thing, you're here, but what you do is what we do. And so it's also here too. We're not just here for the money and improving money. It's what you do. So I don't know what process or procedures that we need to put into place so that we know what we're doing. But CEO Chowdhury.
Yes. I think when to Director Elliott's point, when the deal is structured after the conversations with potential P3 partner here, we should debrief the board of what that looks like. We are not going to make decisions that will include things that, like you just mentioned. Number one, we are not in the business of data centers at all, and that's not what we are doing. But if there is someone who brings a commercial scheme of very interesting nature that has nothing to do with data centers, but like broadband or something else, we will bring that item back so that the board knows of what is this final deal structure that they are proposing, even though there is no dollar value to it. I will do that myself.
Thanks. And I appreciate that, Mr. CEO. I just want to sort of mark the moment on, June 24th, 11:40 a.m. here. If something comes back and it's, look at this amazing commercial opportunity we have, and 3/4 of it is predicated on building a significant, I'm going to have a problem with that. So I just want to mark that moment. I appreciate that we will have consultation beyond the dollars and cents of it. Timestamp. Thank you.
That will be in the minutes of the meeting at the next
Amazing.
meeting that
Amazing.
you can approve. We'll make sure that is bolded for Director Elliott.
Chairman,
Yes, Director Schenk.
I think we need to get a timestamp here. Overall. So here you said the role of the developer. The developer is not a contractor or service provider to the authority. That's a pretty bold statement. For anybody that is connected to us, to a third party, perhaps an attorney, someone who's been injured or whatever, they're going to come at us and you're going to have what kind of blanket indemnification from the developer. I don't understand how we can say they're not a contractor or service provider, because to the outside world, anybody working for us is part of us.
Agree with that, Director Schenk. I guess I might defer to Chief Counsel on the exact terminology of this, but I think the intent is just to say that this is it's going to be a no-dollar agreement. We're going to have all of the normal legal protections that the authority will have in any contract of that sort.
Yeah.
Just
Director Schenk, we will take a close look.
If I might take that, I love that.
This will not be an opportunity to seek liability against the authority for the actions of the partner.
Director Perea.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to follow up on Director Elliott's question, because it was the same question I was going to have. And I know in our business plan, we talked about data centers. That was just as an idea. We weren't saying we're going to do it. But, we got some feedback at our last board meeting about it. But just to underscore, and maybe to get a better feel from you in terms of the decision-making process, because at some points, hopefully somebody will come forward and say, hey, here's a package that could work for you, and this is what it looks like, this is what it could kind of resources financially could generate for the authority. But on the other hand, as we get this package, the question is, do we have, as we're moving through these meetings now, the input for you to get the feel for what we want or don't want? Or will you be coming back at some point when you have the package and saying, okay, board, here's the package, here's the opportunities, here's the risks, et cetera. So now we're asking for your approval or disapproval to move forward with this package. Where would the decision-making authority of this board be on that package is my question.
Executive and CEO Chowdhury.
Good question. Like I was saying earlier, that when the deal takes the shape and we know what the contents are of that, we have an idea that power itself, right? It's a commercial opportunity. We have been in discussions around the possibility of having broadband into the rural areas. That's an opportunity. TOD, transit-oriented development, it's an opportunity. What we are looking at this one is like if there are other things that we were not thinking about, and the developer brings it up to us outside of the business plan, what we have already contemplated, we will put that together, bring it to the board. When we said, and I just want to make sure that we clarify that, when we mentioned in our business plan that you're referring to, that we use the term called data centers, this is only to say somebody is going to build somewhere a data center in Los Angeles or in San Francisco. If they do that, maybe there are already some of these things there. We are not saying that we are going to be the one building any of those things, because we just, right? So if there is a fiber optic cable running from here all the way to LA to San Francisco, and there is a broadband user who would like to tap into the fiber for a revenue generation, that may become something that we bring it back to the board, saying these are the commercial opportunities. And the reason we are doing it goes back to no subsidies. It's in the law.
Right.
And so the law says you will run this system, and when it's fully operational, no subsidies. We're like, all right, then we need to look at other opportunities to generate revenue from. It's an opportunity now for us to look at the corridor, not just as rail,
Understood.
but everything else that we can put in there.
Yeah, my question, though, it just centers around the end, and I just want to be clear, is when that package is put together, and you're right, some of the underpinnings to that is, the pressure we're under and you're under is a zero subsidy system that runs on its own. So you may bring us back a plan saying, or you may develop a plan saying, here are 10 things that give us a zero subsidy plan. My question is it then at the end of the day, you as a CEO who will make that final determination of, okay, go with the 10, or will this board make that's a decision? I don't want the confusion like we had earlier today is, like who's on first, who's on second, okay? And as Director Elliott said, I mean, is this our shot and maybe 2 other meetings when we talk about this to say what we like or don't like, and then you kind of gonna do your thing? Or is the package going to come back so that the board can take action? Because I can tell you from a data center standpoint, I don't necessarily have a problem with data centers. Some other board members may, but I think we owe the public a very strong presentation of what a data center is and isn't, and whether we do that, say here at the board as a presentation, or you set up some workshop outside of this and invite the public to attend, and we start having the conversation of data centers. Because trust me, it's going to be a big issue for folks out there in the community. We need to be ready to respond to it. So again, I just come back, when we get the package together, the decision on moving forward with whatever these groups may present, is it a board decision on the package we move forward, or is it a CEO decision? I just want to get a feel. Attorney or somebody.
Chair Kava, if I may, perhaps we could discuss that with the chair, and we could bring that back at a future board. At what point in the arrows this comes back before the board? Is there a committee? We could discuss options and bring that back before the board.
I was going to suggest that, yes. And you got the sense of this board, CEO Chowdhury. And so I will work together with you and develop a process of communication, collaboration, so that this board is involved appropriately under the authority that we have of oversight. And also, I think you should utilize the experience and the wisdom and the thoughts of all the folks on this board as you developing these programs, because it's for everybody's benefit. And I think you would benefit, and your staff would benefit from collaboration with.
It's finding that sweet spot. I know we have an F&A committee, and I've never been comfortable with that committee because too much information goes through that committee an hour before this board meets. And then we get so cramped on time, maybe we get a 3-minute presentation by our board chair of what happened in F&A, and there's too much happening there.
It's going to be
Too much
exciting.
decision
I'm about to
making.
give it. Yeah,
We should all be involved in decision making. Yeah, invite us all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, folks, very much.
Thank you so much.
So I believe the next item is our CEO. Comments from CEO Chowdhury.
So, 2024, when we said that we are going to rebuild the organization in a different order, we continued to do so in 25 and then in 26. And I'm hoping that today I can say we have almost reached 100%, but I cannot say that. We are probably 99.9. So we have just brought on new leader in our organization, and he is our chief technology officer. Josh has brought a lot of value to our program, and I will invite him to come and introduce himself. He has been about a month on the job or less, but he has 2 hats. Chief technology officer will run 2 different functions underneath. One is going to be our enterprise IT solutions that that we have to take care of our business on regular basis. But the second portion of Josh's responsibility is going to be about technology innovation that we need to implement on our program. We have been working on this project with very traditional, old methods and processes in construction. We are going to be looking at improving those, and Josh brings that value. So I will invite him, and then we have some other announcements about our key staff. Some are trying to retire, and we are trying to keep them, but we'll talk about that as well. And then some other promotions that Jamie Matalka will talk about. So Josh, come on over and introduce yourself.
Good morning. Morning, Chair. Good morning, other board members. I'm Joshua Hurlbert. I'm coming in as the Chief Technology Officer for High-Speed Rail. Looking forward to working with all y'all and with the team and supporting this project. It's a historical project, and glad to be part of it.
Talk about where you were before.
I'm coming in from Brightline West, so the other rail project. So I have quite a bit of rail experience. There's a lot of initiatives we were pushing there and technology-wise, and being in the forefront of technology for rail, I think it's a great opportunity for not just the state of California, but the whole United States as a whole to show what high-speed rail can do and then technology behind it.
Thanks. Thank you, Josh. Mark, we have other announcements here.
Great. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Chair Kava and members of the board. So we're really excited to have Josh on board as our Chief Technology Officer, but we do want to acknowledge the big shoes that he has to fill with Patty Nasonger, who is retiring. So she has been with the authority for over 9 years, 18 years of public service, really helped us move along the project, not only for the normal back office activities, but really trying to advance our project into the future through innovation and really, building those stepping stones for Josh to take those next steps. So we do want to recognize Patty. I believe she is in the building today. We will have. Yeah, Patty's been a big part of the project, and Would really love to find some ways for her to continue to help the project, but those are conversations we'll continue to have. But we will also have a commemorative ticket for her for the high-speed rail project. So we will be presenting that to her after. But really want to thank Patty for her time at the authority.
And then Jamie.
Great, thank you. I also would like to thank a few individuals here. Lisa Ortega, our Chief Accounting Officer. Come on over here, please. Elsie DeGeorge, our Project Financial Director. Please come up over here, please. So when I came on board about 10 years ago, I relied heavily on these two, leading our budget shop, leading our accounting shop. And what people don't know, we didn't actually do our accounting. DGS did our accounting until Lisa got here. We also came into a cluster of moving from the state's old CalSTAR system to the state's Fiscal system, which was a nightmare. But these two helped us get through it. They've both served the authority for over a decade. And not only that, but they've also put in over 30 years each in state government service. I'd like to honor that today. We do have a couple tickets here from Derek as well. If you could hand those over. Lisa does have a few more years on you, Elsie, but we would like to thank you. Thank you very much for your service.
Can we see the ticket? Can we see the ticket? Yeah, look at that.
Very nice.
Nice. Very nice.
So on behalf of the board and on behalf of myself personally, who had 35 years in public service, I believe in public service, and thank you for what you did for the people of California. Thank you.
So, Chair, this concludes my comments. And
Very good. So now what Director Pereira was waiting for, the update from the Finance and Audit Committee from this morning. I have 5 minutes. Wow. Wow. I thought I was the chair. The chair gives himself as much time as he wants. So this month's reporting includes cash management report. The authority remains in a strong cash position. Total cash available across all funds is $3.8 billion. Updates include inclusion of the February 2026 cap and trade auction proceeds of $229.8 million and individual fund balances, bond funds, Prop 1A, $127.1 million, and greenhouse gas reduction, or GGRF, $3.6 billion. Support budget and expenditure report. The authority spent $8.3 million on administrative costs in this reporting period, which is a slight increase in the expenditure rate compared to the prior month, mostly due to filling vacant positions, which I think we should fill the vacant positions. Capital outlay, budget and expenditure report. Total monthly expenditures were $102.8 million. Construction package expenditure in the Central Valley were $56.3 million. For CP1, $27.6 million. CP2-3, $28.7 million. And CP4, unfortunately, I have 0.00. So all other categories totaled $46.5 million. All other construction, $45.6 million. In project development, $0.9 million. Total project expenditure report. Cumulative expenditure to date are now at $16 billion, which was funded mostly by state funds, 93%, while federal funds comprised 7%. Central Valley construction report. CP labor. On average, there were 1,461 workers on site daily, a decrease of 140 workers from the previous period. CP progress. Of the 92 structures needed, 62 have been completed, which is 67%. 27 are underway, and 3 have not yet started. CP1 started 1 structure, Fresno Underpass. CP2-3 completed 3 structures, Fresno SR 43 at Jersey Ave, Lansing Ave, and Cross Creek Viaduct. Of the 119 miles of guideway needed, 87 miles have been completed, or 73%. 23 are underway, and 9 have not yet started. CP2-3 started work at Lakeland to Ave 88, 2 miles. 3 miles were completed across the following locations: Idaho to Jackson and Lansing to Cross Creek. Central Valley utility relocation status: 94% or 1,720 were completed of the 1,826 total utility relocations needed. 40 are in progress and 66 have not yet started. CP1 relocated 4 utilities during the reporting period, while CP2-3 relocated 4 utilities. The great news from this report, the exciting news, for the 119-mile Central Valley segment between Madera and Wasco, 100% of the right-of-way has been delivered to complete the guideway. 100%. That's the big news. So that's my update. I hope I did okay, Director Pereira. All right. Very good. With that, I think that concludes the open board, right? But I believe the board's going to move into closed session.
But we have comments from the
Oh,
board,
the
if I
other,
may.
okay, sorry about that.
No, if I may. So I just want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, my board colleagues, Ian, and the staff for this robust discussion that we had this morning. It was really one of our best, so thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? Sorry about that, board members. Seeing none, we move into closed session.